It is one of America's most popular TV shows, and it's been that way for almost 30 years.
WCCO viewers have been asking so many good questions about Wheel of Fortune that we decided to send Jason DeRusha to Hollywood to get some answers. And he is live tonight at CBS's Radford Studios. Jason, great to see you. We hear you actually got to spin the wheel.
I did spin the wheel, standing here with the Hollywood Hills behind me, spinning the Wheel of Fortune. My life does not get much better. Look, we took good questions that were sent in by Virginia, Daryl, LaDonna, brought them to Pat Sajak, who gave us answers, and he didn't even make us buy a vowel. This is access here. Like a museum director uncovering the Mona Lisa, producer Randy Burke uncovers the piece of art that's been spinning for nearly 30 years. This is a dream come true, spinning the Wheel of Fortune. Here we go. The whole thing is 4,000 pounds, but it only feels like 400. The wheel is much smaller than it looks on TV. I'd like an R.
We actually plan our taping schedule to avoid you, if possible.
Pat Sajak lives a life we all dream of. How often do you actually shoot Wheel of Fortune?
We tape about 35 times a year, 35 days a year, but it's stretched out over 9 months. So it's not exactly the most grueling schedule you've ever heard about.
The set goes dark the rest of the year. That's why the wheel and puzzle board are covered when we visit. So it's a touch-sensitive strip. That's here, right. But it's just a sideways monitor.
This is the monitor, turn on its side.
How many shows do you shoot in a day?
Usually 6, and we can crank them out pretty quickly. I mean, a typical day for us here, we start around noon, and by 6 o'clock, we have done 6 shows with 2 different audiences and a little dinner break built in, so we're pretty efficient.
Do you work more than Pat and Vanna?
I work a little bit more than Pat and Vanna.
Harry Friedman is the longtime executive producer of the show. We talked in his offices at Sony Pictures. Where do you guys get the money to give away the prizes?
Well, a lot of it comes from wonderful stations like yours, who pay a license fee to carry the shows.
Vanna has worn 5,100 different outfits, mostly size 4. That's the same size I am. Stuart wants to know, how have you managed to keep your hands off Vanna all these years?
Why does Stuart assume I have?
Why don't you spin bankrupt or lose a turn when you do the final spin?
It's interesting. I get that question a lot too. I'm surprised people notice or care that much about it. But in fact, I do hit it quite often. It happens, but again, it's not exactly entertainment filled, so we edit it out.
They do indeed edit that out. A couple of other things. LaDonna wanted to know how Pat knows so quickly that there are, 4 R's or 3 E's or whatever. On the index card he's holding, it just has the answer to the puzzle. He has a little hidden computer monitor that pops up the number of letters that were guessed. And Kim from Egan wanted to know, who writes the puzzles? Pat Sajak, the executive producer, Vanna, everybody makes suggestions, but there is a 2-person puzzle department. They have to research this stuff to make sure that the phrases they use are, in fact, the right phrases.
And where was Vanna, Jason?
Well, Vanna, everybody's out. They're all off. You work 35 days. I mean, your odds of finding them here are less than your odds of not. So she was at her home. I believe Vanna's in Utah, so not a bad life.
No, certainly not. All right, Jason. Thank you.
Good stuff, Jason. Thanks very much. Tomorrow, Jason's going to be on the set of Rules of Engagement. So from script to rehearsal to taping, how does a TV show come together? And how much do the actors really work? Well, watch tomorrow night for more of Jason live from Hollywood.